Here with Vees captain Finn Williams ahead of the pod, returning to hockey, and the Vees back in action, and the BCHL back in action as well. And Finn, I know it was a great atmosphere here at the end of last week. It didn't seem like things were going the league's way. It seemed like there was going to be a bit of a tough goodbye, so to speak, but things turned around. We're getting back to hockey. What was the team and what was the atmosphere like late in the week last week after you guys heard that we were coming back?
Yeah, it was pretty exciting for everybody. I think I don't know, there wasn't a ton of hope there for a couple of weeks, and then to hear that news out of nowhere kind of thing was just it was so exciting for everybody and everybody's own reasons kind of thing. But I'm still shocked, to be honest, in a good way, just because it's been so long since we've been able to play a game, but to now have games set in stone and in a schedule ready to go for us so we can prove ourselves it's super exciting for everybody in our room.
Yeah, obviously, so many months of practice and leading up to this point, it's got to be rewarding. And now a team's set in a 2-week quarantine, getting ready to go for that return to play. But take me back to the end of last week and Friday's practice last week, because it seemed like there was a lot of jumping guys, and it seemed like everybody just wanted to kind of bid farewell before the quarantine on a positive note. And it seemed like everybody was jumping and ready to go with that practice.
Yeah, you could tell we were all excited, and the energy was the best it's been in a while, I think, out there on the ice. And I think we had a pretty good practice there. And I think everyone wanted just to make sure they ended on a good note and had a good last skate before heading into this 2-week quarantine. But the mood was, it was pretty good there for the last 2 days before quarantine.
I wanted to ask because it's been so long since there has been games, and you look back to the last time the Vees played, which was November 14th. Can you take anything from when this team played in the early months of September and October and November and translate it into what's going to be coming up on the season that starts in early April? Or is it one of those things where this was almost like an off season of 4 or 5 months, and now you got to attack this as a completely new slate?
Yeah, I think there's a lot we can take from that Okanagan Cup tournament we had. I think we played really well, and our record showed that. And I know we lost a couple guys, but the group we have returning it's a great team right now. And I think the guys that were here for the Okanagan Cup, took what we did well in that tournament and are going to continue to use what we did well in the regular season here. And for the new guys coming in, I think the leaders and the guys that were here in September and November just gotta play the way they were and lead the way kind of thing, because what we were doing was working. And I think we're all excited, and I think our team game in September and November and the way we played was hard to play against. And I think we just got to do the same heading into the regular season here.
You talk about team leaders being such a big part, and you are one of those as a team captain, and yourself and the rest of the leadership group getting ready to go here. And now with this quarantine period, is there a lot of chatter from the leaders in a group chat, just reminding guys to, stay active as much as you can and use this time to their best advantage?
Yeah, I think that's a big message that everyone's kind of just trying to stress, and the coaches especially, and the leaders as well, is just, we can't take a step back during this quarantine, even though it would be easy to. We got to, stay really focused and make sure our fitness and nutrition and sleep and everything's the same as it would be if we were practicing. And, we got daily Zoom calls set up with the coaching staff just to go over some team systems, and we're treating that like it was a meeting in our locker room. So I think just making sure we're listening to everything they're saying, and while we're going over these team systems, just make sure we're taking it in. We're ready to implement that as soon as we start playing games. But yeah, everyone's going to try and stay fit and ready to go in their own ways.
This team did have to quarantine once before back in November after a positive test. And does it make this quarantine a little bit easier for the guys that were there before, knowing, okay, this is kind of what we had to do over the course of those 2 weeks, and we were able to come back, and we were able to come back strong? Does it make this one a little bit easier to handle?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, the first one, it was my first quarantine anyhow, and you learned what worked and what didn't for you, kind of thing, and especially your first couple skates after quarantine, you kind of figure out what is lacking and what maybe fell behind. So I think I personally learned from the last quarantine what I should keep doing like I did last time, or maybe change. And I think everyone that was here kind of will be doing the same. And I'm lucky that I've only had to do one so far, but there's guys that have had to do multiple before me. So everyone learns in their own ways, I think, what works and what doesn't for them during these 2 week periods.
So what do you kind of look to over the course of 2 weeks to kind of help you stay in focus and also obviously stay in shape as well? You're kind of limited to the things that you can do, obviously just being at home, but I know you live with Liam Malmquist. It's another opportunity as well to have someone there who is quarantined as well, and a chance to kind of, it always helps to obviously have just someone else there to kind of keep you sane a little bit. But what do you look at here over the course of the next about a week and a half that you're kind of working on and that you can do to stay busy?
Yeah, I mean, Liam's the master at quarantining now. I think this is his 8th week or something, or 10th. I don't know. But yeah, I think just keeping my fitness up. Last time, did lots of skipping and running and whatever I could. We got a sport court in our backyard at our billets, so we're lucky that way. I got my rollerblades now for this quarantine, so I'll be out there a lot stick handling and shooting around, and I think it's good to stay moving while stick handling, kind of thing. And I think that'll help me translate, what I'm doing out here to the ice a little bit more. And I think just keeping a regular sleep pattern and nutrition and keeping up with that, not changing anything from what I would be doing if I were practicing and playing games. But my aunt texted me and sent me an early birthday present. So some weights and bands I think are coming tomorrow. So I'm pretty excited for that. And I know Matt Fraser, our assistant coach, is sending us some workout plans for the next couple of days, and he'll do like a daily thing with us. So we'll stay on that for sure. But I think everybody's got their different ways of staying fit and ready and making sure they're feeling at their best.
And lastly, I wanted to ask you as well. You're a guy who's won a Fred Page Cup. You've gone to a national championship before. Even though these aren't going to be playoff games in the beginning of April, does it almost have that same excitement for you? Even though there won't be fans, there won't be anybody in the building except for the two teams, but it's got to feel pretty rewarding to be able to get back on the ice in a couple of weeks and play games that mean something.
Yeah, it does for sure. And I know that personally, this is the most excited I've ever been to play some games, and I'm sure it's the same for everybody in our room. It's only 18 games, but it's compounded into a tight schedule. So I just got to make sure me and the team are doing whatever we can to make sure we're ready for those 18 games. And I think we're going to leave it all on the table. And I don't want to have any regrets after these 18 games, and I want to play my best hockey. But before that, I want to make sure I'm preparing and doing whatever I can and make sure, when game time comes that, I'm playing the best that I can. And I'm sure every guy in our room is doing the same thing, but the excitement for it is, it's kind of through the roof for everybody, I think.
Well, I appreciate your time today, Finn. Thanks so much for this. And, best of luck staying sane through the course of the next couple of weeks. And we'll see you back out on the ice in a couple of weeks' time when the games mean something.
Yeah, great. Thanks a lot.